Yo, what's up? What's going on? What's good? That's right. The Boston Source checking in here live with the midweek report. And, we're simulcast here on YouTube and Facebook for the midweek report. You know, thankful for everyone that was able to join in here live for the midweek report here for the Boxing Source. We got a couple of topics here that we're going to chime in here for a little bit on the midweek report. Particularly this first one is about the recent article that was posted not that long ago, right? It was pretty much this afternoon in reference to what has been reported by Salvador Rodriguez of ESPN, is that Jaime Munguia has been entered in as a potential opponent for Saul Canelo Alvarez, which, it seems like a surprise, at least it is to me, that, Jaime Munguia was, going to be an option for Canelo Alvarez. Now, of course, he had been mentioned as a potential opponent before, but that was, before Canelo had, inked the deal with Premier Boxing Champions. And so, when he had that deal inked for Premier Boxing Champions, that kind of like mixed everything as far as like Canelo potentially facing Jaime Munguia. But, I guess after, what has recently, went down in reference to Premier Boxing Champions, maybe that is like changed things or changed plans a little bit. But, for me, I don't think that it would really kind of like affect what Canelo's doing. But, given what, the report had came out for this, I'm kind of, like surprised about it, and, given what, let me see if I could pull up the article there from ESPN. I'm going to see if I could, jump this in here a little bit, see if I can get it. So let's see here. Let's run it. All right. Yeah. There it goes. So it's like, and this is translated there from like ESPN Mexico. So, it kind of like shows that, whatever interpretation this is, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, it's Steph, man. Steph in the building, man. What's going on with you, man? It's been a good little minute. Hadn't seen you on here for a while, on this thing. So, thankful for you being on here to join us here for the midweek report, man. So hope everything is all good with you, but we're talking about this whole thing with Canelo Alvarez. Of course, he had his bout September 30th against Jermall Charlo. Of course, it was a unanimous decision win. Pretty much, Jermall Charlo, kind of like got through the 12 rounds, according to many. There, to make sure that he, didn't get seriously hurt or whatever it was. So, for those in attendance and those, that were fans of Canelo Alvarez, they were, I guess, pleased with, Canelo getting back in there. But, for those, including myself, that, had, some confidence with Jermall Charlo, that kind of like was next day on September 30th. So, after that particular win, you had to see, what was going to be next for Canelo Alvarez. Like a number of people felt like it was going to be Jermall's brother, Jermall Charlo, who, is set up to fight in November before having a fight with Canelo Alvarez potentially. But now it seems like we got this new news for Canelo as far as like saying that Jaime Munguia could be a potential opponent. Now, I mean, here it says like I said, it's translated, so this ain't really 100% fully translated here, but it said like Canelo Alvarez had announced that it wasn't among his plans to face fighters of Mexican blood or Mexican descent. However, Jaime Munguia's name recently joined the list of possible rivals for next May, sources revealed to ESPN Knockout. For boxing to see Canelo and Jaime Munguia, in the ring, the Tijuana native has to, get a victory next January over John Ryder. That, hasn't necessarily been official or, been signed, but, that's kind of like being directed as the thing there, man. Yo, man, big ups to you, man, with the contributions, man. Big ups to you for the, the $5 super chat there, brother Steph, man. We, appreciate it there, for, chipping into the boxing source, man. We have to like get you on here in these conversations a little bit more, man. But yeah, man, going into this here, it says like they're pretty much trying to set up a fight between Jaime Munguia and John Ryder. And if Jaime Munguia wins that, then maybe they could set up a fight between Munguia and Canelo Alvarez. Of course, John Ryder, had fought Canelo Alvarez earlier this year. Ryder was at the time the WBO mandatory challenger for that super middleweight championship that Canelo has. Was able to get through 12 rounds there. Canelo scored a knockdown in that fight too. And now, they're saying that Jaime Munguia, who is like was a 154-pound champ, WBO 154-pound champ, could be potentially in the mix as far as like an opponent for Canelo Alvarez. Now, of course, we had many little talks about Jaime Munguia after he moved up from, the 154-pound division to 160. And that he had been, a top contender for the WBO title and the WBC title, but had never fought for the middleweight titles of the WBC and WBO. And so he had, still built his record up there at 160. Now went up to 168, and he had a very good little scrap there against Sergey Derevianchenko, and was able to get through that to stay undefeated. But now it seems like they're trying to plan him to go up against John Ryder to see, where he is as a contender there as far as like the, super middleweight division. And if they feel like, they got enough attention or they got enough, money behind Jaime Munguia, then maybe they could set up a fight between Munguia and Canelo Alvarez because, bottom line, it gotta generate the money in order for that fight to go through. And so maybe he could get something where he gets a good little payment off of it, and Canelo gets his guarantee. You know what I'm saying? But like here it said, like Canelo had signed 3 fights with Premier Boxing Champions for guarantee of multi-million dollars, right? And I talked about that thing there with Jermall Charlo, right? Now, they say the remaining fights of that agreement would take place in May and September next year, and a potential battle against David Benavidez, if David Benavidez defeats Demetrius Andrade on November 25th. Well, it said the thing about, of course, the fights would be distributed to Showtime pay-per-view, but, Showtime Sports is going to be ending by the end of the year. So now you got to figure out, okay, what's going to be the next avenue of, providing the fights for Canelo Alvarez, on television or on, pay-per-view or whatever it is. Maybe, folks are talking about, maybe Amazon Prime, maybe, a small chance could be the Zone, or maybe they could, fully have it through Paramount Plus, CBS Paramount Plus, but once they, have that situated in reference to the direction the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, has a presentation, then we'll, have a better idea as to, where Canelo will have, his next fight as far as like broadcasting. Now, of course, there's other fighters that are under that PBC banner that, still have to, figure out where they're going to have their fights broadcasted or kind of like, picked up, namely like a Tank Davis. Tank Davis has pretty much said like he's getting himself back into gear, ready to fight and all that type of stuff. So I'm saying that they're gonna have some place where these fights are going to be televised or held. But in reference to this thing here with Canelo Alvarez, man, going up against Jaime Munguia. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. I like I said before, I really hadn't, viewed Jaime Munguia too highly as far as like what he's done, particularly in the middleweight division. But just to be honest, middleweight division, over the past few years, really hasn't been all too, impressive. You haven't really gotten, very good fights in the middleweight division up to this particular point, anyway. So Jaime Munguia, being a contender there, middleweight, didn't really have a world title shot or go for a world title shot. And then now he's up at super middleweight, pretty much having a couple of fights. And we'll see what happens if he locks down a fight with John Ryder. Most likely he's going to be in Mexico again, so you'll have John Ryder back in Mexico, and then they're going to see how much money gets generated from that fight. And they say, hey man, we got something good here or good enough here with Jaime Munguia. Let's put him in there, against Canelo Alvarez. Steph says typical Canelo there when it comes to I guess picking and choosing these matches here. You know what I'm saying? Of course, a lot of fight fans, were suddenly anticipating or seeing if Canelo Alvarez would face a David Benavidez, and we, up to this point, we haven't had that yet. Like even, when Canelo was on his way to, getting the undisputed titles, there super middleweight, then you have this, you know what I mean? And then what was it? After he did that, he fought, Dimitri Bivol. And then after he lost to Dimitri Bivol, they didn't do an immediate rematch. So he went up and they faced Gennady Golovkin. Yeah, I still don't understand that one. Then after Gennady Golovkin, then you have the whole thing with, like I said, John Ryder. Then after John Ryder, it was Jermall Charlo, since it couldn't be Jermall Charlo. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, okay, what's going to be next year for Canelo Alvarez? They said that they got, pretty good numbers for the pay-per-view for, Canelo versus Jermall Charlo. But, like I said, with the direction of Showtime Sports and Showtime Sports being, out by the end of the year, folks are trying to figure out, okay, what's going to be the next move in reference to the Premier Boxing Champions presentations for a lot of those fights that were on, Showtime over the years, at least with Premier Boxing Champions. But, for me, man, having Jaime Munguia, that's kind of like a something that like throws me off, man. Throws me off as far as like him being a potential opponent for Canelo Alvarez, because it at least it doesn't really, impress me or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Particularly when, you could consider Canelo Alvarez to be among the top fighters in the sport, or like pound for pound. And, usually with the pound for pound criteria, resume is a factor in that, as far as like, who you fought, who you beat, and, what you've done, recently. And with Canelo Alvarez, it's like, well, yeah, he became the undisputed champion. He beat Callum Smith. He beat Billy Joe Saunders. He beat Caleb Plant. But outside of that, man, what else is out there? You've had like a couple of viable contenders or guys that have been world champions. They're in the super middleweight division that Canelo could face, but up to this point, that just hasn't happened. And so, like I said, you have David Benavidez out there that is lined up for a fight against Demetrius Andrade. You also have David Morrell Jr. as a WBA regular champion, but they haven't had any mention of having Canelo face either one of those guys. And how the situation is with the belts, and belts having mandatories and mandatory challengers. But when it comes to this in the super middleweight division, you've only had the instance of Canelo Alvarez facing John Ryder as a mandatory challenger, but not David Benavidez, not David Morrell, or whoever is the IBF mandatory challenger up to this particular point. So, I mean, hey, that's what happens when you're in a cash cow, you know. And in this particular instance, man, like Jaime Munguia is not, really at least I would consider him as a top contender there in the super middleweight division as of yet. But having this as a potential matchup, man, it's I don't know if it's a good look or not. But at least for me, I just think that's something where that would be like a fight that's in Mexico. I don't see, I don't see it being something where it would be in like Las Vegas or anything like that. Like I really don't see that, man. Like that, it doesn't look all too hot for me. You know what I'm saying? So having that as a bout, man, that, I'm not sure about all that. Now, like I said, Jaime Munguia does have something planned for. He has something planned for early 2024, facing John Ryder. So it could be Jaime Munguia versus John Ryder, and Munguia gets through that and wins that. Then they could line him up for Canelo Alvarez in May. But I'm not sure if, most of the boxing fans would be really interested in a fight like that. Like I said, man, you had those other potential bouts out there, or what could have been planned. You had Jermall Charlo, as a potential opponent, but he would be coming up to 168. Yeah, he's kind of planning to face Jose Benavidez Jr. We'll see what happens with that. But if that's going to be the direction for Canelo Alvarez, face someone like Jermall Charlo, maybe. But Jaime Munguia, though, no, man, I just don't see where that could kind of like line up. Also, you had the whole thing there with Terence Crawford too. Terence Crawford is talking about he could potentially face Canelo Alvarez, go up to 168. Canelo has verbally stated that he is not interested in a fight with Terence Crawford. And I mean, if he's not interested in, that's that. It's pretty much Canelo's way, basically. Terence Crawford scored a big win over Errol Spence Jr. to become the undisputed welterweight champion. See if they could build off of that as far as like his popularity and stuff is concerned. But as of right now, we're not seeing like how that could really gain steam as far as like having a potential matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. So that's why you only have these options out here, But yeah, Jaime Munguia, though, if y'all seen his performances, like I said, we had this thing there, with Sergey Derevyanchenko. I thought Derevyanchenko was getting to him. I thought, I thought he could have, took that fight, but it didn't, quite work out that way. And Jaime Munguia ended up getting that decision, their unanimous decision. That was, pretty much like 4 months ago. But outside of that, these other fights that he's had, they're like super middleweight or whatever it was. It wasn't all too hot. They did, kind of like say that Munguia was a silver titleist, the WBC silver champion. Which I kind of like felt like that was all weird or whatnot. So, with that being said, that kind of like puts him, fairly high in those rankings there in the WBC. I know the WBC as of right now has not updated their rankings as of yet. Shoot, just to be honest, like none of the sanctioned bodies have, at least for this month. But as of like late September, Jaime Munguia was at number 2 in the WBC rankings. So he's like at number 2 there in the WBC, and he was actually put at number 1 in the WBO, which I felt like that's wild. Only had like a couple of fights, so they're in the super middleweight division, but they already have them like highly ranked. Like I said, he only had that world title at 154 pounds. He never fought for a world title at 160. You know, but yet after like what 2 fights, maybe north of 160 pounds, he's already highly ranked in the WBC and the WBO. So maybe they're trying to, I guess, like have things lined up for this fight to happen, to where they say, hey, okay, you could honor your mandatory in this instance or this way or whatever it is. I don't know, man. But I'm not all too hot as far as like that being the next fight for Canelo Alvarez. Like I said, David Benavidez, is kind of like focused on what's going to happen there with his fight against Demetrius Andrade next month. And then after that, maybe we have him set up for that fight against Canelo next year. But some folks talking about Canelo versus David Benavidez isn't going to happen until September of next year. So what's the thing about that? Hey, shout out to Terrell in the building, man. What's going on with you, man? Why didn't he fight for a belt at 160? Man, I have no idea. I have no idea. After he won the belt at 154, he moved up to 160. He was a top contender there for 160. Was particularly in the WBO. You had, of course, Demetrius Andrade as the WBO champion for a while there at 160, and Munguia was there as number one contender, but they never had the enforcement of making him the mandatory challenger, and they didn't really put him there as a mandatory challenger. I think we kind of like talked about it in some shows in the past, and that they said like Jaime Munguia, I guess, wasn't ready or whatever it was, and so he just kept having those fights, over in Mexico or whatever it is, and just kept building up his record against, like a Gabe Rosado or a Camille Zarameta, or like Turion Johnson or something like that. But what else? Against Demetrius Ballard last year, but nothing to where it's like saying, okay, now he could fight for a world title, whether it was like the WBC or the WBO, because he was up there at the top in both of those sanctioning bodies for 160, and they still said, nah, we ain't gonna put him up there for that. We ain't gonna put him up there for that. So now here he is again at 168, and shoot, well, let's see. I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, if he wasn't really ready for fighting for a world title at 160. What makes him think that they could have him fighting for a world title at 168? Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, it's Canelo that's holding them belts right now. So maybe they say, oh, you know what? No, I think we're ready for, fighting for a world title. Yeah, because Canelo's holding the belts. If it was like anybody else holding the belts, would they be doing that? I don't know. If it was David Benavidez, that was a WBC super middleweight champion, would they be saying that? I don't know. If Munguia was in the WBA rankings, and they said, hey, well, maybe you could have something where you could face, David Morrell Jr. Would Jaime Munguia and his team be, jumping on that? I don't know. But since it's Canelo Alvarez, they're like, okay. Yeah, we could get broke off a little bit here, so maybe we're kind of like saying, hey, yeah, I think we could do it. I think we could do it, but it's been talked about for some time, but they hadn't necessarily talked about it or tried to jump on it when both of them were at 160 or whatever it was. But now that he's at 168, they're saying, okay, maybe he's a potential opponent there, but that's on one side. On the other side with Canelo Alvarez, he did say that he wasn't down with facing fighters of Mexican descent, on any level basically when he was at 154, 160, 168, that he didn't want to fight anybody of Mexican descent. But if this kind of like goes down, or if this gets any closer to what we have here with this report that came out earlier today, man, there will be a number of folks really upset there. You know what I'm saying? They'd be really upset with that. See if I get someone else here to join us here on the midweek report. Talk about this recent news and other stuff that's going down in the sport of boxing. Checking in here is MVO1 says, what's happening with you?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you, man. We
We
all
back,
clear.
baby. Woo! I was starting to
Yeah.
get worried, man.
Yeah, you in the clear, man. You in the clear.
So Jermall Charlo is officially back, according to him?
Well, I guess. I mean, he'll be making posts here and there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get, like, for me, the other thing with that was, I'd be part of like the weekly thing with Coach Ronnie Shields, and usually, it's on Tuesdays, and with some scheduling conflicts and that things of that nature, we kind of like reschedule things to move things around. It's mainly because of Jermall Charlo's schedule. So he looks like he's getting there in the gym and getting work.
Good. I think he said he was fighting Benavidez. I wasn't sure. I didn't have time to listen to the live. I'll probably go back and watch the video, but
yeah,
it's good to see him back. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, like I said, you're talking about having him there against Jose Benavidez Jr. That's going to be something there. Like I said, Benavidez had his last fight, over there in the MGM over my way. So I guess they're seeing here where both of those guys are at, their particular careers, man. But Benavidez, what he started at, like, what, 147 or whatever it is. Now he's here at like 160, 168.
Yeah, I think he was 140 before.
Yeah, 140 at one point. Yeah, so that's a a serious weight jump. You know what I'm saying? So,
do you have any thoughts on the first press conference with Ryan Garcia and Oscar Duarte?
Man, not necessarily, man. I know we had some folks that we know that were out there at the press conference. They were talking about how they were serving food at the press conference. And I ain't really expect that out of Golden Boy Promotions. I ain't never seen
what they had.
I think
what
it was
they
like
had.
what was it, like a couple of sandwiches, some what is it, egg rolls or whatnot, salad here and there.
You should have set me out there, man. Damn.
Man, man, I don't understand though. I don't understand Golden Boy though. I don't know where they had their pressers and that type of stuff. They don't really send press releases like that.
But they supposed to. I mean, how? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, what's going on with your boy Anthony Joshua?
Well, I don't know about all that. So, like I did send you a message. What was it, yesterday? In reference to Mr. Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, it would be a shame.
He said that. Now, also speaking of Deontay Wilder, man, it seems like there was something else that came out with him where he kind of like said, man, that some folks have been turning down $4 million offers, man.
Yeah, I think it was Malik that said that, which is pretty interesting to me because he said $4 million guarantee, which I think is fair. Like, what else are you looking for? Like, if you're Andy Ruiz, do you really think you're going to get a $15 to $20 million guarantee? No, $4 million, you should take that. Take a $4 million guarantee, and then the rest is upside. Like, I don't see what's wrong with that. You got guys like Andy Ruiz, you got a Frank Sanchez, guys like that. Why wouldn't you take $4 million to get knocked out real quick?
Yeah, you got Sanchez. Who else was out there that they got around? Maybe I don't know, Otto Wallin, maybe, something like that. Who is it? I don't know about the thing with Martin McCauley, but But yeah, you named those other guys, man. Sanchez, and Andy Ruiz too, right? And then you also have like something else where who's this? This Arslan Beck Markmandov, right?
Oh, from
Like he's supposed to
Canada.
be he's gonna be on that card on Saturday. And I was like, I had no idea who in the world he was facing, you know.
Exactly. Which is a
And I was,
shame.
and he's supposed to be one of those top contenders, supposedly, you know.
Yeah, wasn't he the one that offered allegedly they were going to offer Deontay Wilder 20 million to fight him in Canada?
I guess he's one that's facing
Yeah,
Canada. Like, I mean, yeah, he's like number 3 in the WBCs, number 5 in the WBA, and I'm like, Deontay Wilder is number 1 in both. Why not go after that fight? You know?
well, Deontay Wilder needs to get back in the ring soon. I still don't understand why the Joshua fight can't happen in December or January. Like, if Joshua is planning on, as Eddie Hearn says, fighting another time this year in order to keep like busy, why not keep busy by fighting Deontay Wilder? Like, I just don't understand why they're making it seem like that fight is not in play, but other fights are.
I'm thinking it's money. I'm thinking it's money for some reason. I think they're trying to, get everything done as far as like making sure everybody's paid, making sure everybody's handsomely paid. So like putting a fight out there in December, at least from now, I don't know if they would do it like from 8 weeks from now, but it just I just feel like it's going to be next year. That's my take on that one, man.
Yeah. If it
So yeah,
happens, which it probably won't. I still don't think it's gonna happen at all, but okay.
but my thing. I think it should happen, but there's only one way that it's going to happen, and you know who has to be out of the picture.
Yeah. He's throwing I'm telling you, he's throwing his body in front of that fight. I don't know why. I really don't get it, because it's the fight that fans have been clamoring for, and it's gonna be successful. It's gonna be
Hmm.
successful in the UK. It's gonna be successful in the US. Like, what is he doing?
I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea. No, but on the main topic there, man, we had this recent release of Jaime Munguia potentially being an opponent for Canelo
That's
in
not
May.
happening,
Like,
please. It's not happening.
I mean, it came from what's his name there in Mexico or whatnot. From
Chava.
yeah, Salvador Rodriguez, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Munguia though, like why? Why?
I don't give any credence to it for the simple fact that Jermall Charlo is fighting in November. So that tells me that it's full steam ahead with Charlo versus Canelo in May. And also,
Yeah,
why would PBC give Munguia that fight when they
yeah,
have in-house options?
right.
Canelo's gonna make what he's gonna make regardless. He's gonna get his guaranteed money.
Regardless of
So
that, yeah.
why would they not give one of their guys an opportunity to actually beat him?
Right. Like you had Jermall Charlo get $5 million plus or whatever it
Yeah,
is. Why not have someone else there that's within your stable and management thing that could give $5 million to something like that. You
yeah.
know what
And
I'm saying?
didn't Canelo say he'll never fight Munguia because of some I'm not fighting other Mexican
Yeah,
shit?
yeah. And the funny thing is, on the article, it was like saying like Canelo said that he wasn't having any players on facing fighters of Mexican descent. So where did they get this from? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It
I just think somebody over there, maybe Fernando Beltran, is floating it out there just to bring interest to Munguia's next fight. They want to attach Canelo's name to it so that
Mhm.
maybe people would care about who's he fighting. John Ryder, allegedly.
John Ryder, and that's going to be in Mexico. You know it's going to be in Mexico,
Oh
man.
yeah, they trying to attach Canelo's name to it.
Like I mean, what is it? It's been oh well. I mean, what is it? about two of his past 4 fights have been in Mexico, man. Like,
Yeah,
so they're gonna have John Ryder in there again and then try to say, okay, yeah, I mean, we got this thing here. We're gonna generate some money here with this fight between Munguia and Ryder. So I mean, why not? But I'm like, and you know what I've said about Munguia over the years, man. It's like he done passed opportunity over opportunity, man, multiple times. Should to fight for a world title above 154 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I just
So
think that I think his handlers are looking to catch him out because if you remember, Beltran was going to let him fight Jermall for the WBC title at 160. And it
oh
was
yeah, yeah,
Oscar
yeah.
who said, no, we're
And
not
that
doing
pulled
that
him.
unless the zone is
Yep.
involved.
Because that
So
was supposed to be what was that supposed to be part of that Juneteenth thing when
yep.
they had the Showtime joint, and then at the last minute they pulled it.
So I think Fernando Beltran is just trying to catch him out somehow, get his get a good return on him, and I think it's I don't know, it's not happening. Like fans, get that out of your head. Canelo versus Munguia is not happening next.
Yeah, I'm like, why would it happen next? Like what? Like for me, like I said, I don't see what the interest is in that fight. Really don't.
Now, if
You
you're
know?
gonna tell me that Golden Boy doesn't have any paperwork on Munguia and he's gonna move over to PBC, okay, then that I can understand, but
Right.
that's not being reported.
Right. Yeah, they're not saying that. They're not saying that at all. Yeah, they're not saying it at all. So it's like what's the deal with this putting this out there. So maybe it is like PR move to try to boost up Munguia before his fight. That's going to be against John Ryder. Maybe, but other than that, it's like, what's the point? Now you were talking about the whole thing with I guess Ryan Garcia and Oscar Duarte in that press conference or whatever it was, man. The thing there with Ryan Garcia, man. I mean, like some folks are saying like Duarte's supposed to be a tough cat.
Well, they say he's a heavy hitter, but so was Ryan, And looking at them first glance, Ryan's a lot bigger than him. I thought that they were going to be a lot closer in dimensions, but Ryan looks much bigger than him, even in height. So I'm hoping to see Ryan Garcia show out. My thing is this though. I don't know if you saw the tickets are on sale. Them ticket prices is crazy. So yeah, I'd be surprised.
I ain't looking to them prices, man. Where's this thing at? I'll probably put it in the Golden Boy joint.
Those prices look like he fighting Tank again. So I'm like, bro, what's going on here?
Oh my God!
So I'm hoping to see what happens with the gate. I hope he draws well because the more money in boxing, the better. The more notoriety boxing gets, the better. Well, I'm just not too sure if Ryan Garcia going against Oscar Duarte is going to move the needle in terms of getting casual boxing fans' interest.
Yeah. Oh man, dang! I can't even look at these. I can't even look at these ticket prices because the whole thing with the AXS and VPN, they don't agree with each other, man. Like, come on.
Oh yeah. They gotta make sure you're not Eddie Hearn trying to buy out all the tickets with your StubHub deal.
Oh man. They also who is it? I think Kid Austin, Floyd Schofield's supposed to be on that card too.
Oh, nephew. Okay.
Yeah. But he like made a recent post on IG talking about Keyshawn Davis, man. He's like, man, if Oscar wanted to make a fantasy card, they should put me up against Keyshawn Davis, man. He said Keyshawn Davis like he ain't that good, man.
Hey, I would like that fight. I like
fight.
that better than Keyshawn Davis versus Jose Pedraza.
Yeah.
I'm ticked off at that fight because I thought at the very least this fight was going to be at 140. But he's bringing Pedraza down
to 135.
And he hasn't been there in like 4 or 5 years.
Oh no, man! Come on, man.
What kind of shit is that? He hasn't been there. It's like 4 or 5
Man,
years.
that's wild. And then that's supposed to be a cool feature to Robercy Ramirez there in Pembroke Pines, Florida.
Yeah, come on, man.
outside of Miami. I'm like, nah, man, I ain't going that far.
Like, come on. That sounds like where they have nursing homes at. That sounds like one of them motherfucking places that have a timeshare that's costing you money.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that thing be off man, for those from Florida, that's like right off of I-75 Alligator Alley. Once you get off of Alligator Alley, you're right there in Pembroke Pines. That's like one of those.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's where the retirees and stuff be at.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm like, yo, like y'all couldn't even they couldn't even get like where is it, the Hard Rock over there, like Fort Lauderdale or Hollywood, Florida. They couldn't even do that. Like, come on, man.
They probably having a fight there because Bob Allen probably lives in a nursing home over there, so he want to be close to the fight.
So we won't have to travel so far this time.
Yeah,
around.
man, this is
Hey, you
stupid.
get every fight though.
But I'll be honest, it doesn't matter where they hold the fight at. They wasn't selling no tickets anyway, so they probably got some sort of site fee.
Yeah,
It's got to be a site fee because ain't nobody paying nobody to see Robeisy Ramirez. I forgot who he fighting. To be honest with you,
man, yo, I gotta I gotta look that thing up again, man, because it's it is a defense of that WBO title, but it's like Rafael Espinoza, like I'm like,
yeah, who cares?
Yo, Steph says, "Here, you gotta come to the Bay for Haney and Regis." Man,
To
I gotta
me,
look at them flight prices, bro. Like,
they gotta be talking to you. They can't be talking to me.
yeah, they ain't talking to you, man. I'm like, yo,
Shit.
them them flight prices, bro. Like, yo,
I wish I would travel to the Bay to see Ebony Bridges against Avery Matt. No, what's the chick name? Avril Maffey.
yeah, everybody. Like,
I'm
yeah,
paying money to see Montana Love. Come on, dog.
I'm like, yo, yeah, that's wild, kid. That's wild. Yeah, I just don't see myself, getting out there to the Bay for that, man. I've had, what is it, like three or four trips to Las Vegas already this year, like another West Coast trip like that. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Might need to have a sponsor or something for that. Like, because other than that, man, nah, yeah, but you also have what was it that came up earlier this week or whatever? Oh, they said Keith Thurman versus Eimantas Stanionis, man.
Allegedly, hopefully, it's true.
Yeah, Keith Idek, put it out there that Thurman has agreed to fight Eimantas Stanionis, for in a pay-per-view card on December 9th. Man, I don't know, man. Like, we'll see because Stanionis ain't been in the ring in a while. Keith Thurman ain't been in the ring in a while, and it's like, for in the welterweight division. I mean, you say it's like a good fight for the welterweights, but man, I could have seen some other matchups that could have been made for both of those fighters, or either one
Like
of them.
what?
Like either one of them against Bruce Ennis for one. But I find it crazy though, because Eimantas Stanionis did have a interview. What was it, like a couple of weeks ago? And he said, I would need a couple of fights, before I would face, someone like Bruce Ennis, because Ennis has been, a little bit more active. Well, at least for Ennis, he's had a couple of fights this year, whereas like Keith Thurman ain't fought since his fight against Barrios, which was around, a couple months before Stanionis' last fight, So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, or like, you could have had what was it, Stanionis versus Cody Crowley, since Cody Crowley almost like retired and then he unretired or something, like.
I like this fight, man. And I'm telling you right now, I think Keith Thurman gonna beat that boy.
You think he's going to school him?
Yeah, listen, Keith Thurman is on a different level, boxing wise. To me, he's probably him or Terence Crawford, the best boxer in the division, like best pure boxer. Like he knows, like he has like a lot of skills. And one thing that people need to flag, Stanionis, while people say, oh, he got power. I mean, he has only 9 knockouts in 14 fights. So it's not as if he like some one punch knockout artist or something, or
Right.
somebody like. I think that he's gonna try to put pressure on Thurman, and
Yeah.
that's gonna open up a lot of opportunities to be countered. And I think Keith Thurman, he better watch out for that left hook from Thurman. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, the thing with Stanionis too is he likes to, get on the inside a lot. I think most of his work or most of his effectiveness is on the inside. And Keith Thurman is a guy that really likes to work his jab and use distance too. So it's going to be a little struggle. I think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for Stanionis to get on the inside there against someone like Keith Thurman. So that's going to be a tough one, man. What else they said? Like that it could be
Danny versus Lara on the card, allegedly.
Danny versus Lara on the card. We'll see, man, because Danny versus Lara fight too on that. That's gonna be that's gonna cost a little bit too. So yeah, no wonder this is gonna be pay-per-view if you go have Danny Garcia in there. Danny Garcia on there and Keith Thurman on there. You know what their minimums are. So
yeah, but they keep saying that this is part of a Floyd Mayweather card. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. Because I mean, if it is part of a Floyd Mayweather card, then that's actually an excellent pay-per-view card. But if
yeah,
this card is just the main event and co-feature, that is not a good pay-per-view card.
yeah. I
But
mean,
it will be the best card December 9th, I tell you that.
oh yeah, yeah, that's for sure. I'll admit that. That's for sure. That's definitely going to be the best card on December 9th, man. And that if you do have something like that, man, it's likely going to be in Las Vegas, still. So because man, as far as I know, they ain't doing nothing over here on the East Coast, man.
Nope.
That's crazy, man.
Over.
It's a wrap. It seems like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like we can't get none of them good events over here on this side, man.
Well, supposedly, Tank next fight is going to be on this side. They said
Yeah,
that they were thinking about bringing Tank back to Atlanta, so we'll see.
yeah, back to Atlanta or some in DC, depends on what they have set up for the opponent. So, I don't know, man, but yeah, Keith Thurman and then Eimantas Stanionis. I mean, yeah, Keith Thurman, is he'll probably gonna be really excited and show like everybody like y'all must have forgot y'all forgot about Keith Thurman or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have that, man. But yeah, outside of that, we really don't have that much action going down, man. What's happening on this weekend. But yeah, outside of that, everything is kind of like pointing towards November 25th since we ain't got nothing November 4th, man. They moved that card over. So
But you're not looking forward to the fight this weekend?
nah.
Oh, you're
I mean,
bugging.
we got a world title fight that's supposed to be coming up. There with Oshaki Foster, man.
Man, nobody
And
give a fuck about that. Listen, this Fury and Ngannou card is all heavyweights, dude. What is wrong with
oh
you?
no,
What is wrong with you? This is all heavyweights. Like, I don't understand how you're not excited about this. Like, do you even like boxing? What is wrong with you, man?
there's a couple of good fights on
This is
that
the meat
card, but
parade, baby. We here.
oh no, you didn't.
The meat parade is coming to town.
Oh no. but those matchups, man, you seen who I just like mentioned, and one of them like Arslanbek Makhmudov. You mean to tell me that they couldn't have Makhmudov against Joseph Parker in this deck of card? Like, come
Joseph Parker
on.
fighting somebody.
Yeah, he's fighting somebody, but I'm like, come on, man.
He's
Like,
fighting the dude from who's that guy from New Zealand? I think he's
Simon
fighting
King.
Simon King. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
And then
fight.
you got Fabio Wardley against David Adelaide.
Woo! That's a good one right there.
Wait. So what's a better fight card? This one or the one they had with on January 1st with Ortiz versus Martin?
Oh, damn. You know what? I'm gonna say this one.
What? Oh.
I think in this one, you're gonna get a knockout in every fight. And I think Wardley versus Adelaide is gonna be a fucking war.
I mean, we had,
You got two guys with no chins and hit hard.
Oh man. Oh yeah, that's right. You had the whole thing with Frank Sanchez was on that other card.
Exactly.
So.
If Frank Sanchez was on the card, it can't be that good.
And Johnny Rice didn't stop Mike Coffey that time. So
oh, that was good.
So, but yeah, it's an all heavyweight card. They're on Saturday night.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm telling you, man, don't blink.
Well, I think that Makhmudov, he's gonna stop that dude. Smakishi, like he's gonna stop that dude.
Can't wait.
I don't know about that Joseph Parker or Simon King fights being a KO in that one. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Joseph Parker knocking that man out. Listen, Joseph Parker trying to show people that he's back.
All right, we'll see, man. We'll see. But after that, yep, that's right. It's a whole out heavyweight fight card. Yep, don't be thrown off with that whole Fury and Ngannou stuff. They put in all heavyweights on this card.
Yeah, man, they're gonna be throwing leather.
So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of big guys slugging it out. So yeah, that's what we got on that, man. But yeah, outside of that's pretty much what I had, man. Yeah, I think this whole thing with with the thing with Showtime Sports, it's kind of like put a down on things, man, because there's like not really that much to look forward to for the rest of the year. Outside of that, one event you got coming up on November and then December 9th. So that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I did enjoy seeing the Inoue press conference. I'm glad Inoue's back and going for Undisputed again. And he's making waves out there. He's like a huge star out there, man.
Oh yeah. But hopefully Marlon Tapales, does a better job or makes it more competitive than Paul Butler did when Inoue was going for Undisputed then. So
yeah, yep.
So I think he'll make more of a fight out of that. So just looking forward to that. That's supposed to be on ESPN Plus. Well, thank goodness it's on ESPN Plus. Just like that fight with Stephen Fulton was on ESPN Plus. Yeah, that's what I like, man. So props to Inoue for doing that. Even if he gets the win, I don't know if I'm gonna put him at number one in the power rankings at the end of the year. Who knows?
Nah, it's nothing he could do to pass Crawford right now.
Yeah, so yeah, that goes for that, man. But that's what I got here for the midweek report here on October 25th, man. So we'll see how things shape up here in the weekend, and then get back at it with the Bicesaurus podcast on Sunday, man. Big ups to MVO for joining the podcast, man. We're gonna be right back at it on Sunday. Until then, I'm out, y'all. Peace out.
Peace.